Hello friends, today's topic is working in prison as a woman. Let's rant.
Look at her, she's rich in here. This is the store lady.
2 for 1 is if somebody comes to my door and says, Brandy, do you have a noodle until shop day? Yeah, here you go. But that means they have to pay me 2 back.
In Unit 31D, there's one cell everyone knows, Brandy Lane's. The women call it JC Brandy, basically the prison version of a department store. She somehow manages to pack stacks of chips, cookies, and sweets into that tiny space. For women coming straight out of detox, sugar feels like the only thing keeping them alive. And Brandy knows it. She runs everything on a 2-for-1 system. If you're out of ramen, you can borrow a pack from her, no questions asked. But on commissary day, you owe her too. Some people think it's harsh, but to Brandy, these aren't just snacks. They're currency, status, and leverage in a place where almost nothing is under your control. And if someone doesn't pay, the debt doubles. Keep refusing? It turns into a problem that's way bigger than a couple bags of chips. Brandy doesn't have to fight anyone herself. There are always inmates willing to collect in exchange for some freebies. This is the longest stretch she's ever served. And during this time, she's been going to group programs, doing self-reflection, and even helping lead recovery meetings. She calls herself a recovering addict and says she doesn't want to fall back into the same cycle again.
All right, part 2. I'm gonna try to make this one quicker or cover more. But where I left off is it is a 12-hour shift, 6 to 6, either you AM or you PM. Pick one. Me personally, I work days. I'm a sleepyhead. I'm not working nights. I'm gonna be asleep somewhere in the corner. So that's why I choose to work days. Like I said, it's 12 hours. It's really, honestly, it's adult babysitting 101. You're not doing anything all day. You're just really babysitting. You're sitting there all day with these inmates. I mean, of course, you're in your bubble or your cage or whatever. You're locked and secure. You're supposed to do 30-minute rounds, walks, you know, got this little pipe thing. You hit the wall, beep. You go to the other side, beep. Go back in your office. I'm not gonna lie, I'm the type of officer, I try to make my 12 hours go a little fast. So I might shoot the shit with them, I might talk to them, as long as they're not talking on their dumb stuff I was just talking about in the previous video. But most of them, these are people too. Sometimes they funny, and really they remind me of working in like a high school full of boys. Like, they really are so immature. You wouldn't even be, you wouldn't believe this is a 40-year-old man I'm talking to because he acts like he's 16. They play, they roughhouse. It's really not like TV. It's not like TV. It's not, oh, I'm scared to come to work. And yes, they do be fighting. And they do be fighting and acting crazy. I've had to break up a couple fights. It depends on what type of officer you want to be. We are armed with mace and these. That's it. You got your handcuffs. It is what it is. Most of them, they not finna hit no woman though. But I have had to break up a fight, put some hands on them. And the report I got with them, if you touch her, hey, you gonna get beat. But most of them really respect women to the point that they're not going to hit you. And really males too. If you're a type of male that you don't treat them really bad, or just mean to them for no reason, they don't have no reason to be mean to you. So yeah, really, my day-to-day, I go to work. We got to be there by, I would say, about 5:15. You got to make a roll call where they just really tell you what's going on. Make it to your dorm about 6, and you're there until 6. You don't leave. Once you're up there, you're there. Me personally, it doesn't bother me. I just wish I had my phone because I be bored. But for the most part, it's an easy-ass job. Any more questions, hit my line, I'll answer them. Feel free.
Hard to be a white inmate here?
I think so.
Would you say so? How many times do you think you've been here?
Well, I say I've been here about 7-8 times.
You're pregnant?
Yes, 6 months.
Dang.
I'm probably gonna leave here and go to prison.
And you have to give birth in prison?
Yeah.
My name's Q. That's Ace. And we're gay for real.
Give us a tour and the lowdown of this place. Yeah. Here, let me mic you up, okay?
Asha.
Asha?
Mm-hmm.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. It's
okay.
my dad.
Where are we right now?
We at Pod 5. I'm not gonna be in here for long. I hope y'all know so. If y'all want me, come
You're not gonna be here for long?
Oh no.
When do you get out?
Probably Probably next month. I'm here for a warrant. A lot of people be here. They murderers in here. It's like they got a mixture of everything
So little things and big things in the same room.
in the same room.
What do you think about that?
I'll be scared, but you know, just defend yourself. But they don't let a lot of stuff go down in here, so I'll give y'all that.
So these are the showers. It does not have hot water.
No hot water. Oh, how you turn it on? I really don't want to turn it on.
Like for how long? No hot water.
No water at all.
No hot water.
No.
For as long as you've been here.
Yeah.
And how long you been here?
Since Friday.
No, so you're new.
I'm new. Like, I don't belong here.
Have you been here before?
Yes.
How many times? A lot?
No, one time, so twice.
Okay. So tell me about this war. What happened?
I violated my probation.
What, you smoked a little weed?
I was driving under the influence.
If you follow the rules and regulations of probation, I think it works fine. I think people accept it just because they're trying to get out of jail so quick. Hey, when we get out of jail, yep, let me sign. They ain't even begin to read what they have to do.
My name is Danny Nagel. I'm a lawyer here in Clayton County, Georgia. So probation a lot of times is really just a trap, right? People would rather spend time on probation than do time in jail or in prison. Well, what they don't realize is that probation comes with so many conditions. You can't hang out with people who are on probation. You can't have alcohol. Obviously, you can't do drugs. You have to pay a fine. You have to do community service. You have to take these classes. And anytime you fail to do any of those things on time, you are in violation of your probation, which means that you could go back to jail or prison.
You know, nothing bad. I'm not a criminal, but, you know, when you're on probation, you can't do those things and stuff. So I'm thinking I'll get, like, you know, just 30 days. I'll sit 30 days, and I'll go back to the, you know, streets to do what I do, go back to work, you know.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
Okay, what do you do when you're not here?
I do everything. I do makeup, I do hair, I do lashes, I work at a job. I'm not going to say the job.
Does your boss know you're here?
Yes.
What do they think?
I have a girlfriend, and she's actually my boss, so yes, she knows I'm here. Hi, baby!
Let me tell you everything that went wrong on my very first day of prison nursing. My name is Megan. I have been a nurse for almost 8 years, and I did correction contracts in my state prison system for a little over 2 years. I took my very first contract on a whim, had no experience in corrections, but I'm a true crime girly, and that world just fascinated me, so I said, let me sign up. My recruiter emailed me first day instructions, told me to wear business casual, told me where to go, told me about going through security, so I was prepared. I get to the prison, I start going through security, and immediately the metal detector is going off, and I'm like, what the hell? I don't have any metal on me. And they're like, do you have any metal on you? And I'm like, no, I don't have any metal on me. And they're patting me down, and she goes, are you wearing an underwire bra? And I was in fact wearing an underwire bra. I missed the part in the email that said, do not wear an underwire bra. So that was problem number one. They agreed to let me in the prison wearing my underwire bra. They bring me to an orientation room where it's just me in there. It's just me and this officer that's going to do my orientating. So for the entire day, this officer is telling me about prison life culture, about how inmates can manipulate you easily, the tactics they do to manipulate you. He told me about all the officers and the staff that gets caught having sex with inmates. They tell me about all the weapons that the inmates have made, all the shanks. He shows me pictures. He shows me pictures of prison assaults, and I am sitting there absolutely horrified. Like, what the fuck did I sign up for? And then he starts telling me, oh, you're gonna have to go pick up your scrubs. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that the state provided scrubs. And he's like, yeah, so you're gonna go down to this building over here and you're gonna get your scrubs. And then he tells me, and don't ever come back to this prison wearing the pants that you're wearing. What's wrong with my pants, sir? They were just a pair of like black business casual pants. And he tells me that they're gonna eat me alive in those pants. Apparently they were too tight, and that was gonna seduce the inmates. So I'm already freaking the fuck out here. I'm like panicking. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta call my recruiter. I can't do this. This is not for me. I can't do it. So then it's time for lunch, and he tells me, you have an hour lunch break. First thing I do, I get in my car, I Google the closest department store to me, and I find a Belk about 15 minutes away. I go to Belk and I pick out a sports bra, number one, and I pick out the ugliest pair of black pants that I can possibly find. I got them 2 sizes too big. They looked ridiculous, and I showed back up at that prison ready to go. And for the rest of the day, he just continued to tell me more stories about what it's like to work in a prison. And I don't know if I just had accepted my fate at that point, but I was like, all right, let's do this. I can do anything for 13 weeks. And I did, and I stayed for 2.5 years. So let me know if you would like to know more about what the day-to-day life was as a prison nurse, or if you yourself have done prison nursing. I find it fascinating. I absolutely loved it. And I do think that it's nursing's best kept secret.
That job seems tough. What do you think about this video? Comment down below and thank you for watching.